going on, you guys? My name is Steve with TGN Outlaws, bringing you the second part of this dungeon run. I am, of course, tanking as Bard, as you can see in this video. Now, I will be talking about how I went along with doing it, so let's get going. If you have not seen the first video, please make sure to check out the first part. I explained mostly the 3 spells that I had and some gear and runes. I mean, should I say no runes? I don't have any runes, but rubies that I used and stuff like that. Basically, when I was tanking, I was in doing so well because I learned something towards kind of after this boss ended on how to sort of tank things. But I pull them in, as you can see, and they get away from me at first. But what I wasn't doing is that once my acoustic barrier was up or down, I should have been casting dissonance, at least 1 or 2 dissonances as soon as my acoustic barrier was up. But as you can see here, I use dissonance to pull them towards me. As soon as they do that, I pop acoustic barrier when I can, after I know that I got aggro, and they take damage. See, now I'm kind of doing it now, but unfortunately I'm still not doing it as great. When I was first doing this, I was a little bit scared, not knowing how this was gonna go, until I got more confident as we went along. When basically I pull with dissonance, and as I get closer, I use up all my energy blasting them away with dissonance. Okay, what I don't like about dissonance is there's not a target attack. What I would have been able to do if dissonance was a target attack is target one, hit him with dissonance, and target the other, hit it with dissonance for 2 attack people, basically. Now here, the boss, I lose aggro because all I kept doing was popping my acoustic barrier, which I was not pushing out enough threat to hold him at me. So now that I started actually doing damage to him, once my acoustic barrier is up with dissonance, and unfortunately we do kill him, but my game crashes. I don't know why it crashed, and we still ended up killing him. But here at this part, I basically when you watch out towards your bosses, you gotta, before you tank, maybe go as DPS, so you know how the fights are gonna be, because you don't want this to happen. Those 2 minions up there, I pulled them down, but as soon as you pull them down, the boss starts coming down. I try to back away, but unfortunately we got swamped a little bit. I managed to gain aggro by trying to cut line of sight of other mobs and trying to focus down, or trying to get aggro back, basically, with dissonance. And as soon as I do that, I basically just go back to my rotation. Dissonance, 2 dissonances, then acoustic barrier, and then dissonance. That is it. That is it. You know, if you could do 3 dissonance, go for it, but most likely it would only be 2. Which is one you want to do. Maybe you could do a dissonance, 2 dissonance. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Am I saying? Hopefully I'm saying that right, because I don't want to sound like I'm saying it wrong. Let me know if I'm saying dissonance right. But basically, pop I would do dissonance, 2 of those, and then I would do acoustic barrier once or twice. But I would, like, at this point, I kind of did not do it as much anymore, basically because I learned my ways of sort of pulling. Unfortunately, I did not show you the range targets, but you know, because of your elegy, when it's active, the range targets were basically, by the time we got to the range targets, they were already dead, just because of my elegy. If you don't know what that spell is or what it does, check out my first video. I explain it. I mean, basically, in this fight, in this part of the fight, which is the last boss fight, I try to sort of focus down these minions, and you kind of want to focus ads, especially if your boss is sort of far away. Uh, Mainly because your barrier is going to protect you a lot of that damage, so you don't really need to do as much, especially since you have no real communication here. It's not like you guys are on Skype or Vent or TeamSpeak, whatever, saying, oh, attack the boss, because if that was the case, then you would be able to focus on the boss instead of the minions. But in this case, you have to focus down the targets that your teammates are attacking. The reason why is because you want to hold that aggro. If you don't hold that aggro, then your teammates are going to start running around in circles because they're getting hit. So basically, you attack the closest target to your teammates, because your teammates are going to be attacking those. And when no communication, you have no taunts and whatnot. Basically, in this fight, I try to go on barrier, put my acoustic barrier up every single time he would summon that dude, because he will put out massive damage, and if I'm not on my acoustic barrier, most likely the healer would have a hard time healing me. So again, try to focus down and keep aggro on the mobs that your teammates are attacking, because again, your teammates aren't that smart sometimes, and yeah, they unless you tell them. And of course, when you're tanking or doing something, people don't really type as much unless you're just like just standing around, and they'll talk. But like I said in the first part, where I talked about my spec, and I talked about some of my 3 spells that I had, and some of the future spells, and all that good stuff. Basically, I'm just showing you here how I tanked it and how to go about it. Right here about, unfortunately, as I go up, we start pulling a bunch of them, because there is a couple ads up there, and I take doing massive damage. But once I see my health getting low, see around the corners how we got a little white thing, that's kind of my spec where I put into. I don't exactly know the name of it, but check out the first one and I talk about it and I show it. It has a chance for the mob 17. It gives me a 17% chance for the mobs to miss me. So once I'm down to 50%, it gives me 17% chance for the mobs to miss me. In turn, I pop my acoustic barrier a lot of times, just so that they would not, so the healer could catch up. So that point, you have to watch your health at all times with any tank. With any tank, you have to watch you see that spell solo. Basically, you'll probably want to get that in the future. And again, tanking as a bard is easy, but you have to kind of also do your research with your dungeons, because you don't want to run at it straight on. The good thing about Bard is, even though you're specking, even though you're trying to tank, you're kind of specking into DPS eventually. Maybe not so much with the acoustic barrier, but with everything else, yes. Or maybe not much solo either. But if the reason solo's so good is because you're getting attacked as a tank, putting out damage. So again, maybe you gonna do a dungeon, change your spec up. I wish maybe they had 2 kind of specs that you could go into, so you could go into 2 different types of builds, whether it be tanking, DPSing, or healing for all those other characters. But I doubt it. Maybe paladins here could tank, heal, and DPS. Yeah, I'm freaking tired. So yeah, remember, do your research on the dungeons, go as DPS. Then once you're like, oh, I know what every boss does, I know where every mob is, I'm gonna try to find a group to tank as Bard. hopefully people will see it, see this video more and be like, hey, you can actually tank with bards, or be like, why would we want a bard to tank? Because bards are amazing and they're super OP in damage, and they can keep aggro. Reason why? Number one reason why is Elegy. Elegy attacks multiple freaking targets at once. Well, it doesn't really attack, but when they attack you, they take damage, making basically bard tanking freaking amazing. And of course, the more money you have to purchase your little rubies, the better off you will be. So if you guys want me to bring you guys future tanking in the future, or if you need me to explain more of bard tanking or other sort of stuff like that, I'll bring you guys some PvP content, some more bard content, and all that funness of stuff. So please don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Check out my channel, support me. Right now I'm focusing on TGN a lot, so if I see more subs on my channel, I could bring you guys exclusive videos of tanking and all that kind of stuff. So like, favorite, subscribe, and thank you for watching. And this has been Steve with TGN All Odds.